everyone, welcome back to our Python webinar series. We are on our second episode titled Rapid Prototyping and Development with Python. I'm Miriam from VOLO's marketing team, and once again, it's my pleasure to be your host today. Here is some background information about our first episode in case you missed it. We explored some key applications and use cases of Python, discussed the reasons behind its popularity, and debunked common myths surrounding this popular programming language. For today's episode, we've prepared something juicier. And this will be mostly interesting for the tech innovators who are at the beginning of their project realization journey and want to quickly test their idea. Also, this will be interesting for the business leaders who are considering Python for their software project development. As a heads up, we'll break down our today's discussion into two main parts. So firstly, we will discuss rapid prototyping with Python, and second, we will talk about software project development with Python in general. So we will continue our today's discussion with my lovely colleagues, Ruben and Tigran. So guys, thanks a lot for being here with us. And I think before moving forward, it's the time for introductions. And it's the time to remind our audience of your relationships with Python.
Hello, Mariam. Hello, everyone. So I am still Ruben, technical team lead at VOLO. I started working with Python in 2004, and since that I've got a lot of stories to tell, and I hope to share them to you tonight.
Okay, great. And Tigran?
Hello, everyone. I am Tigran, a senior Python developer at VOLO, and I'm happy to be here and to participate in today's discussion.
Thanks a lot, guys, for your introductions and, of course, for accepting our webinar invitation. I hope this is not the last one. So as we start discussing our main topic for today, rapid prototyping with Python. Let's first of all discuss the importance of this method, especially for big budget projects. And also it's time to understand when it really shines. And maybe we can start with you, Ruben, and you can describe rapid prototyping in your own words. And then we will discuss why and when is it used in more detail.
Oh, sure. Well, actually, before investing a lot of resources into some project, one may need first to create a simple version just to understand if idea has any potential and if it's worthy to go on. In this case, rapid prototyping comes to play. It's actually like sketching your idea on a digital canvas, getting something illustrative, getting something very quickly. It may be not even completely functional, but just enough to illustrate the overall idea, to get a feedback from potential users, and why not for luring the investors. So wrapping this up to test the ideas quickly and to get the feedbacks.
I would like to emphasize the case of investors. If you are seeking funding, sometimes showing a working prototype can be more efficient than just presenting the idea. It demonstrates not only the commitment and potential of the project, but also make it more visual and easier to understand. To illustrate the points we have already mentioned, let's take an example of food delivery application. Let's suppose that we want to create a food delivery application, and instead of developing all the application entirely, we start with rapid prototype. The prototype could just allow users to browse restaurants and place orders. You will not have all the functionalities like advanced filter search or full-fledged payment system. Application may not be viable or fully functional, thus it cannot be considered as an MVP. Later, you share this prototype with group of users. Their feedback reveals what they like or dislike, what additional features they would like to have, and based on these feedbacks, you decide whether to continue with full-scale development or to drop it. Does it make sense?
Yep, actually that was a great example, very illustrative. So to sum up, rapid prototyping is a software development style about quickly illustrating the ideas, getting feedback, bringing investment, and the most important thing is to make decision about the project's future.
So guys, you highlighted attracting investors as one of the primary motivations for rapid prototyping. And this is very common for the product owners. Can we also discuss some timeframes just to give an idea to them to understand how long will take a typical rapid development in order to have something to showcase to investors? Also, we can discuss the team composition for the typical timeframe.
Well, it actually depends on multiple factors, However, based on our own experience at VOLO, the typical time frame is about a month. And this month is not our choice, but is dictated mainly by our customers because they often need to create something at last minute. So the 1 month is the typical case. And I would like to introduce you a project which can illustrate because it contains all the possible parts and the hints and tricks of rapid prototyping. We recently started a project which was actually a platform prototype for machinery spare parts exchange. The main point was that it should be eco-friendly, aligned to the well-known adage reduce, reuse, and recycle. There was only 1 month to deliver this project because our customer had an important meeting with investor and she was in a hurry and she needed something urgent and something very, very fancy to show. So the goal was hard enough and ambitious enough. And now about team composition, I just talk about them before I proceed to technologies used in this case. The team consisted of one and only Python developer, a full-time. Also, we had one full-time front-end developer, and we had a part-time QA engineer, a DevOps engineer, and surely we had project manager to put all these things together. So the team was very small, as you can see. As about technologies, well, we picked Django as one of the most popular frameworks. It contains everything to start development rapidly and to get the results quickly. As database, we picked PostgreSQL. It's seamlessly integrated with Django. And also we used a lot of minor tools like Celery for running background tasks, Redis for caching. And surely this was working in a cloud space and it was running in Kubernetes environment. This part was provided by our DevOps engineers. And being brief, we succeeded. And moreover, the successful prototyping led to the next phase of the project. And our customer signed a contract with us to deliver the first MVP.
Very good. So I think it's more or less clear the rapid prototyping method's importance and when it is really used. Now let's imagine we have the final concept, we secured the funding, and let's move beyond the initial stages of rapid prototyping. Let's discuss the project development, the core development with Python. So as we delve into the project development with Python discussion, I suggest us to bring some real-life examples from different industries, different domains, and see if there are any different approaches. And also, are there any challenges, anything you consider is important to share?
Well, there was an interesting case in our practice together with Tigran and VOLO. We had a project which was developed in Java originally, but later customer needed to integrate some calculational part written in Python, And the Python was chosen because it was a data science part there. And we started with small part written in Python, and later our overall development went so well that all new features somehow migrated to Python frame. So perhaps Tigran, as more experienced in fintech, could take his turn and talk about it.
Yeah, I would like to give some more details about this project. Right, we indeed needed to integrate Python component into existing Java application. The project was from fintech industry, and our Python component needed to handle complex calculations, work with data engineering tools, and potentially integrate with GPT and artificial intelligence tools in the future. A key challenge was to integrate different parts, an existing service with new functionalities and smaller specialized microservices. Python was a natural choice for its strength in data science and artificial intelligence. The project already used PostgreSQL as a database, so we stuck with it. Choosing the right framework was important for us. Django was a good all-purpose option, but we needed something more suitable for a smaller application and large-scale development. So FastAPI stood out because it is suitable for projects of all sizes. With FastAPI, you can start with smaller application development and go deep with large-scale development, or even you can dive into large-scale development from the beginning. FastAPI provides the flexibility needed for performance of projects of all sizes, as I have already mentioned, and alongside it provides auto-generated documentation, which makes testing more efficient. Besides FastAPI, we used some additional tools to ease our works, let's say. For example, SQL Alchemy helped us to interact with database queries. Olympic helped us to manage database changes over time. And Celery and Redis were important to managing inter-process communication and storing small data respectively. So just to sum up, FastAPI made it easy to provide needed endpoints, and SQL Alchemy helped us to work with PostgreSQL advanced features. The application also had mobile application developed in Flutter.
Yeah, and I guess this is another discussion.
Right.
And do you have anything to add?
Well, one more important thing which I would like to emphasize is the team. Because, players make the match, not the game itself. So, despite presence of different specialists of different fields, actually only 2 full-time developers were engaged in this project from Python side. And we succeeded, which is just a proper illustration that correct toolkit and dedicated team can reach good results and achieve all the goals. But as far as I remember, there was one more project in quite different field area, something like cryptocurrency, or, I was not involved in this project personally, but Tigran was, so perhaps you could enlighten us.
I guess you're talking about the project from blockchain industry, right? Yeah. And with your permission, I would like to mention 2 main challenges we faced in this project: unstructured data and speed and efficiency. A huge amount of data we need to handle was not in standard format. So we chose NoSQL database to handle unstructured data. And for speed and efficiency, we wanted our application to be fast and lightweight. The client already suggested us Flask, so we stayed committed to it. And we chose microservice architecture to break down the services based on their functionalities into smaller specialized services. However, integrating with third-party applications like Fireblocks proved to be difficult for us, but of course, we handled that as well. There was some issues related to lack of the documentation, but we succeeded with the small team. Our team was small, 2 Python developers from our side, 1 Python developer from client side to manage the flow. And with this small team, we succeeded the project and delivered the project in time.
Very good.
Do a little remark here. One of the challenges was of migration from SQL technologies to NoSQL databases, because working for a long time period with SQL creates certain thought patterns, which are usually making things harder when stepping to NoSQL databases. So we needed to break these thought patterns and to start thinking different way. And in this case, I would like to emphasize the role of the project of the Mongo engine. It's an object-to-document mapping framework, which made this transition smooth and much more efficient.
Okay, guys. So I want to get back to the highlight of AI integration. Like you mentioned in your previous example, Tigran, that projects requiring AI integrations are more likely to adopt Python development. So in this case, we always notice nowadays the trend, that all projects from different industries require AI integration. And I want to understand the difference comparing to the general software development. So are there any differences compared to general development when the project requires AI integration?
It was a good question. To answer it, yes and no. Because, sometimes it is just straightforward to integrate with AI tools, but sometimes it is complex based on requirements we have. If the task simply needs to integrate with existing AI models which are already optimized and tuned, it is just a technical work to do. But if the requirements is so that we need to train the models, choose the optimized one, it may require additional help of specialists. I can bring an example of a project we had. It was a project from data visualization field where we needed to integrate with AI models to help to ease our work. So we had tasks like natural language processing and data categorization. For this, we need to integrate our colleague to help us with this task. And after the AI part was done and ready to be integrated, we integrated it to our existing core application. The project used Django framework for development and PostgreSQL for database, and Celery and RabbitMQ for communication, inter-process communication, I mean. Despite the challenges posed by small team and limited budget, we delivered the application in time with the help of Python libraries and SDKs, which helped us a lot.
Very good. So guys, so far we were discussing Python's application for backend development for the projects requiring AI integration or data sets. So what other uses of Python are essential to cover also?
Well, we have already mentioned AI, machine learning, data science, etc., backend engineering, but I would like to mention here one more field of application. It's automation of all kinds. Because Python easily replaces such scripting languages like Bash or PowerShell, and or at least wraps them, making overall work much more comfortable. And in this case, I would like to talk about a unique project for us. It was done for a multinational company working in pharmacology and healthcare field. And the task was about having an automation toolkit for their infrastructure running in different clouds. The task considered miscellaneous tools for automation, metrics collection, visualization, analysis, etc. And the task was so specific that it could not be done using existing and popular, even commercial tools, because there are a lot of monitoring and data collection tools on the market, but we still had to create something our own. And we did it mainly using VOLO 3, which is the AWS Cloud's SDK. And besides some black magic running on virtual machines, we also created a control application, which was a desktop application running on particular computer, again, written in Python and having a UI. By the way, maybe the dinosaurs could applause here because we use TK. It's a very old but still efficient library, which maybe is not that fancy like Qt or other visualization libraries, but at least TK is delivered with standard Python distribution, and it works in every platform. And also, I would like to mention that all of this stuff was done timely because there is, as Tigran has already mentioned, there are a lot of libraries and modules of any kind created by very ample Python community, and most of these sources are open, and there are almost free or free.
Yeah, great. Guys, you know what I'm noticing? That each project requires different development tool selection, but based on your experience, maybe you can recommend some development tools that are much more preferred by you in order to have smooth development process. So I guess this will be mostly interesting for your peers from the developers community.
And when it comes to development tools, the PyCharm is an idea of our choice. In VOLO, we use PyCharm Professional Edition. Its comprehensive set of features and plugins make it really easy to create a project. For those new to Python, I can suggest PyCharm Community Edition, which has enough plugins and features to start the development. And later, if they would like something more fancy, let's say, they can go ahead and continue with PyCharm.
And you, Ruben, do you have anything to add?
Well, after playing with different ideas, I also ended up with PyCharm as one of the most efficient. But I would like to tell that in general, besides IDEA, developers use a big set of different tools, libraries, modules for style checking, for security checking, for debugging, for profiling, for testing. There are quality gates, etc. So it's a big bunch of different tools used in our everyday work. And most of them are either free or open source. And sometimes it looks like almost everything can be found somewhere in Python archives.
So, guys, I guess we are slowly heading to the end of the discussion. That's why I want us to extract some key takeaways for our audience from our today's discussion. If they were to retain just 2 to 3 pieces of advice from our discussion to apply for their upcoming project, what would you extract?
It's hard, but I will try. Always keep in mind that Python is suitable and efficient for both prototype development and mainstream development. And with the help of its modules, SDKs, you can achieve the needed requirements.
Okay.
Except some very specific project with their very specific requirements, almost everything else, let's to say so, can be developed using Python. And this can be done by small teams in short time periods And moreover, the further cost of maintenance and development can be much less compared to other technology frameworks. Sure, if everything has been planned, designed, and created according to high standards, because otherwise, every technology may fail.
Okay. Thank you guys for a very insightful discussion today. I hope this was really insightful for our audience as well. There's nothing else left to say besides thank you, dear audience, for sticking with us. And if you have any burning questions related to rapid prototyping or software development in general, feel free to reach out to us or connect via LinkedIn. We're always happy to connect and help out however we can. So because your engagement makes this session so valuable, we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you and goodbye. Bye.